right, maybe you might tip me for the poems.
There you go. Yeah, that's an idea.
All right, so I wrote this poem. I wrote this poem after a cab ride. I just moved from like Bushwick, and before, I've always lived in, ever since the divorce or whatever, since I was like 6 or 7, I've always lived in what can be considered the hood. And a few weeks ago, I moved into an apartment in Park Slope, which is not the hood.
No.
And I thought, this is gonna be my dream. I have restaurants, I don't have to worry about getting robbed and shit. And now, I've been having conversations, and I had a conversation with a cab driver, and this is what happened. So the cab driver said that there was a fight in a club, and traffic was bad towards 11th, and I say, yeah, folks don't know how to act when they drunk. I tell him I pour drinks down people's thirsty gullets, I fill their drinks, and suggest more tip. Everything for the tip. I make them want it, I stay drunk with them, and then we are drinking buddies, and then we slowly get fucked. But my drink sport has made me the slow one. I make them pray to the bathroom toilet rim god. They'll try to eject all the fun I gave them. They always return for more. This is always all for the tip. I tell myself over and over, I only drink for the tip. So the cab driver and I share our desires to both attempt to drink less. And we are united. In a world where we both profit from the spirits others consume, we provide the service. We try not to drown into the work. And now, I'm telling him about the cone-headed spliff I light every day after work. I tell him it's always my epilogue. I tell him I don't wake or bake, I don't midday smoke, and I don't blaze before work. And he tells me he doesn't like herb. It stays 60 days too long in the bloodstream too long for random drug test. He did tell me he had a friend once. His friend loved to smoke. He was his best friend, his only friend in this country. His pipe was thin and shaped like an L. The herb was hard white. And what did this Bengali man know about crack rock? 2 years, he told me, 2 years, cracked out. And I was after bar loose after a long shift. And I say word, I sold crack for 9 months. And at one point, this was my South Bronx street cred. But I was only 19, and I am not as lost, and I am not as naive as my street credentials led me to think. And now I want to apologize. And I tell him about Maggie, how she had 5 children, how when I wasn't brave enough, she would take my bundle and pitch for 30%. How my profit margin was still over 300. How I gave good morning to her little births before each day of school, before I handed her my crack to sell. How I purchased earbuds at a nickel a pop from them during 4th of July. How South Bronx bullets flew on the country's anniversary. And now I'm searching for a way to apologize to Maggie. And the cab driver speaks again of his ignorance. We weren't fed the same public service announcements. His best friend in his exiled world said smoke. So he smoked. So his face melted. So his eyes inflated. So his crack was not my naive street education. And I never thought I've tasted the swollen lip of evil before this ride. He shakes my hand as he drops me off in my new massive Park Slope apartment, and I bid him luck. I walk upstairs. I stare at the vast empty. I haven't felt this in years. I'm not sure if this is guilt. I'm not sure what I really feel guilty about.